All right, so welcome back everyone. So today I want to go ahead and talk about we're going to be doing an installation. I'm going to walk you guys through the step of setting up one of these things. So I'm not sure if you can see it. I'm trying to zoom in a little bit. Okay, looks kind of cool. They come in different forms, but this is what we call the YubiKey, right? So the YubiKey has been around for some time. As you can see here, there are different versions of them. So you have this one right here, which is the USB model, and then this right here is actually the USB-C model. And then you have the Nano OEM and then the actual OEM official Nano key. So I have purchased, I have this one right here, this one, and this one. And I'm going to walk you guys through setting these up. Now, with DoD just releasing the ability to actually use these on the network, I thought it's actually pretty cool. You have the ability to use these as, it's not a replacement, but it's another way for you to log in and authenticate with your credentials, of course, so you can access some of these sites that you normally use, like your emails on the go and so forth. And it's actually pretty good. So, you know, I'm not sure about you, but there have been times when I run out the house and I leave my CAD card at home because I was using it for something like an award or whatever, and I go to work and I don't have it. And if you have one of these, the good things about it is that it has a little hole, so you can keep this on your keychain, and it works just the same with your CAD card. It works the same way. Once you plug it in, you can use it. So we're gonna work on this version right here. Like I said, any of the versions, as long as you look at the documentation, which is out there, it will tell you which ones you are allowed to use. Okay, and read up on it a little bit if you are not sure about where, basically, if you're not sure about which ones you can use. But as of right now, they actually do have a guide that was published that you can actually read and get some better understanding. So, trial and error. I have been working to get this thing up and running for the last 24 hours, and I've ran into a lot of issues. And now, as an administrator, I know this can be frustrating for my end users. First thing, you need to make sure that you have configured AVD. So, what is AVD? Well, the Army's been pushing it for a while for a lot of us. The first time it came out, I think they were onboarding about 3,000 to 5,000 users, and now it's easy for you to just register. And I'm gonna walk you through. So if you go to LinkedIn, this was pushed out a while ago, and as you can see right here, the Army Enterprise Azure Virtual Desktop sign up is live. So these are the links that you would go to, basically, and I'm gonna put this in the description so you don't have to worry about trying to find it. But if you go here to new, right, it's gonna prompt you to log in, right? And then also you'll go here as well to Go Army AVD, and you'll also log in as well. Any of these will work, right? But if you don't have an AVD, the virtual desktop, you're gonna need it. You're gonna need it for this portion. So don't go any further in this video until you get AVD. And once you get to AVD, log in with your CAD card as usual, and I'm gonna sign in. So you're signing in with your regular account that you have right now. And when you get here, you want to click sign in, and I'm going to go ahead and look for my CAD card. Put my PIN in. Click yes or no, whichever All right, so once you're on this screen right here, right? This screen is basically, this is where you want to start. So after you log in and you go to the link that I'm providing, this is where you will go. What is AVD? If you don't know, just read up on this. It will tell you. And then it's going to say, where can I access AVD? Now, you need to remember this step that I'm about to show you. This is the web version. If you go right here and click this, it's going to take you to the web version. Basically, you can use a web browser and log into AVD once you have access. If you do not have access, you need to start down here. You want to go ahead and look for the part that says right here, Windows BYOD, bring your own device. That's where you want to go. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because if you're not sure how to get this, you're going to be stuck trying to figure this out. So when you get to AVD, and I'm going to put a link right here. I'm going to make sure I put this link in for you. You want to go here. And if you can't find this, the link will be also in the description. Basically, it's going to take you to the Microsoft Virtual Desktop platform that you'll need. So basically, this is what you're going to need to connect to Azure, because you're connected to an Azure cloud platform. Now, important, when you get to this screen, you're like, okay, where do I go? This looks so crazy. So much stuff going on here. Okay, it is. And they don't really make it easy for you. But if you scroll up, right, you're trying to install a remote desktop client. It is right here where it says download the remote client, choose the version for your device. This is what you want to see. This is where you're going to choose. Now, if you have 64-bit, obviously you're going to choose 64-bit, which is the most common. But also if you have a 32-bit, you want to go ahead and choose 34-bit, 32-bit as well, 34-bit. Choose 32-bit to get it. And then if you have an RM64, that's one. But most likely you're going to choose this. It's going to prompt you to download, which is right there. As you can see, my little download just popped up. And you're going to go there and you're going to install this. I'm not going to walk you through how to install the software. At this point, you should already know. Go to your downloads folder, wherever you have downloads going. That's where you're going to find the software. Install it, run, click next, accept all the user agreements, and you should be good to go. Once it is installed, now you're back where I'm starting. You are going to look for what's called, go to your start button, and you're going to type in remote. Oops. You want to type in remote, and you're going to look for remote desktop. Now, by default, Windows already have what's called remote desktop connection, but that's not what we're going to use. You're looking for the remote desktop app, okay? And you have these little two greater than, and are those greater than? I think it's greater than and lesser than signs. I think so. But you catch what I'm saying. This is what you're going to click. You're going to start up here. And this now is where you want to go to get into AVD. Now, remember, like I showed you before, when you were trying to get into AVD over the web, looks the same way as if you were connecting to the remote desktop. Now, the only problem and the only difference that I've seen is that when you start using the applications later, you run into some issues. And this is why I said I had to battle through figuring out which one works. All right, so don't use the over the web version. Make sure you're using the desktop version. Okay, that's where you want to go. Now, before we get started, you need to also make sure that you have your YubiKey. All right, pull it out of the box right there. And also, once you have the YubiKey, you want to plug this in. So I'm going to go ahead and plug mine in and listen for the sound. Find me a USB. There we go. It's the sound of something being added through USB. So my YubiKey is connected. You heard the sound earlier. Now, the YubiKey is installed. You got my virtual desktop working. There's another thing that I want you to make sure that you have on your computer. Now, this is called Citrix. Download Citrix Workplace app. There you go. So this is the link. Citrix products, whatever. I'll also put the link right there. You want to click on download. Click download. Once this is downloaded as well, you're going to go here. This is the latest version, August 8th. As of this video is the latest version. If there's a newer version, go with the newest and latest version whenever you're watching this video. Click the app to install Citrix Workplace and download it. As long as you have one of these systems, you should be fine. Go ahead and download Citrix for your Windows. As always, find your downloads and go ahead and do the install as well. Okay, you're going to need that as well later to come. I found out that there's some problems with this. Now, if you do not have the DoD certificates on your computer, go ahead and check out my other video where I show you how you can install the DoD root certificates as well, because you need to prep your computer to make sure you have the latest and greatest certificates and stuff that you need. Okay, so make sure you have that already. Your system is already prepped. All right, so what we're going to do next, well, this is a piece where it's going to require someone else to help you, and these guys are called a Purebred agent. Now, if you're not a Purebred agent, you need to find your Purebred agent. Now, how do we do this? Well, it's simple. You can basically find them through the help desk. So let's go ahead and let me see if I can pull one up for you. Basically, your Purebred are the folks that configure your cell phones on the MDM platform. They're like your go-to IMO specific guys when it comes to mobile devices and so forth. Right now, if you cannot or you don't have one in your AO or your location, just go to AESD, put in a ticket, and let them know what you're trying to do. Explain to them that, hey, I'm trying to set up my YubiKey and I need some assistance. And once they reply or whatever, hopefully they do reply. If not, you might need to call them, but you're going to need a Purebred agent to assist you with the process, because you can't do it by yourself. You have to be able to register your device on the platform. And this is why it comes in handy. All right. So first thing, let's go ahead and start the process so you can see how it's done. So with your CAT card enabled, pick one of these, doesn't matter. You're going to go ahead and log in. So just double click. It's going to ask you to log in. You can log in, whatever. I want to show you what this looks like though, also on the remote desktop. So let's go ahead and log in. I'm going to click allow, and I'm going to launch the desktop so you can see what I'm talking about. So if you see this where it says a pop-up needed for the authentication was blocked, most likely this is a browser issue. So if you look up top right here, I had a little X, that means it was being blocked. So you want to go ahead and click allow, click done, and then just try to reconnect again and click allow. And then this time it will allow you, because if you have pop-up blockers on, it prevents you from just anything running on your computer. Okay, so I am logging into AVD right now. And this part is why I said I want to show you something so you understand. If you're running into these problems, this is the reason why. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is that you want to go ahead and open up the YubiKey manager. So inside of AVD, there's already, all you have to type, once you're in AVD, just type in YubiKey, and you're going to see YubiKey manager. It's already installed on AVD, right? Now, this issue that I've had, or that I found out right here. Now you see this? It says insert your key. Now this is going over the web. I already have my YubiKey installed, But when you go over the web, it doesn't recognize it because of the platform with Azure, and you're doing over the web access. It cannot read from my physical machine. It's not able to pick up and go over the web that my key is installed. So if you're seeing this, you have to switch platforms. And this is why I said I wanted to show it to you this way so that you can see what I'm talking about. So even if I go to my resources or whatever, they don't have anything here that shows, that will assist me into making sure that my key will populate here. And this is going over the web. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to log out. All right, so let's go to my here, and I'm going to go ahead and disconnect. So I disconnected from the web version of AVD. Now let's go back to AVD here. So I just double click. I'm trying to get in right now. Okay, so I need to go ahead and click this. Now I'm going to find my CAD card certificate. So I'm going to find it and go ahead and click OK. Now the only part I don't like about this is that it takes up my entire screen. I have 6 screens that I'm working with, and this thing will basically take all my screens up. So as you can see, I'm logging in right here. I'm on my desktop, and hopefully it just shows just the one screen. Okay, so everything is good to go. I have all right, so now let's go ahead and go to YubiKey Manager, and this is the difference I'm going to show you with the desktop version. Right, you see that earlier before, if I close this and I go back and go to YubiKey Manager, this populated earlier on the web version, but now as soon as I plugged it in, it recognized, because my computer can connect virtually through remote desktop protocol, and it gives me the ability so it can read the USB drivers. And that's the reason why I said you need to make sure that you're using the remote desktop platform to set this up and not the web version. If you run into the errors, this is where it gets a little tricky. So now, once you're here, we'll show you the model of the YubiKey. What I've noticed, you only can set one up at a time, because if you plug 2 in, it's going to tell you only one can be done at a time. So you will have to basically take it out and work on one at a time if you're working on multiple YubiKeys as well. Right? You'll see the firmware version and all that stuff. So what you want to do is go to interfaces, right? Here you want to see, you will see all of this, right? Make sure everything is checked. So you need it, right? So then you want to go to applications. So make sure that first thing you go to interfaces, all of this is good to go. They should all be checked, right? And then once you're there and you save the interfaces that you want to make sure you're working with, go to applications and you want to go to PIV, P-I-V. Okay, once PIV pops up, it's taking a little bit. Once this pops up, what you're going to do, you're going to go ahead and click reset. Now, this is so important. Once you hit reset, do not do anything else. At this point, you're just going to reset the YubiKey. So basically the factory default settings that it came with from the manufacturer, you're going to wipe it out, and you're going to reset the PIV application that's stored on the YubiKey. So go ahead and click reset. It's going to ask you, do you want to reset? It's going to reset all the data. Click yes. It will go through and wipe all the settings for you. We'll show you application has been reset. This is good to go. Now, at this point, go ahead and close out the YubiKey manager. Okay, so what you're going to do at this moment, click start, and you want to type in Purebred registration. Now, because I've done this before, I've already have my Purebred agent EDIP here. It should be blocked out, so you won't be able to see his information. But this is the point where you will need your Purebred agent to assist you. The first step is entering the EDIP of the Purebred agent that's going to help you with the enrollment. Okay, so this is the part where you're going to go ahead and put their information in, and you want to go ahead and click continue. Now, if you run into problems where it states that it cannot find your Purebred agent or whatever, so we'll go through some troubleshooting steps. But once you put that in and it finds it, this is where you're going to enter a new key, a new pin for your YubiKey. This is a pin that you're going to set. So just like your CAC card, when you go through the first time setting it up and they ask you to go ahead and put in a pin that you can remember, this is now where you're going to enter a pin on your YubiKey that you can remember. You're going to go ahead and then now just enter a new puck for your YubiKey, right? And then it's going to go through this process. This screen will change. And it's going to ask you now for your PIN. Enter the PIN, which is the PIN that you did earlier when you set it up. Because now it's going to generate certificates and load these certificates onto the key to start getting the enrollment process working for you to get this YubiKey up and working. All right, so now this is where you need your Purebred agent. It's going to say obtain a pre-enrollment one-time password and then enter it below. This is where you have to reach out to them. The person that's sponsoring you, this is the serial number of your YubiKey, and then this is the URL for the Purebred. At this point, you need to contact that Purebred agent and say, hey, I need a one-time password. They should know how to go in because they got to go inside and they can see this now. Once you put it in, they can see this, that it was registered, and you're waiting for that one-time PIN. With that PIN, you will enter it right here, and then you will click continue to go to the next step. So you have to do the pre-enrollment right there. So this is the first one. It's pre-enrollment is number 1. And it times out. So once you get it, put in the pre-enrollment. Now I'm just waiting for him to send me back. So I'm online actually with my Purebred agent, and waiting for him to send it over. So if you hear that noise, that's actually him communicating with me. Okay, so now if you notice up here, it changed from pre-enrollment to obtain an enrollment one-time password. Okay, so now I'm responding to him. So you'll get pre-enrollment, and then now you need to do number 2, which is called the OTP enrollment. Okay, now you hear that noise again, so he's back. Right, so now that's the that was a one-time enrollment, so now it's enrolling the devices, which is this phase of the process. So it might seem a little bit tedious, it might seem like things are you know, not happening, but it's gonna work. So when you get to this step, now if it says right here you need to use your CAC access card, if your CAC is already in, which it should be because we're working on it, you're gonna go ahead and highlight this right here. And you're gonna copy that. Now you're gonna go back to where we were working, and you want to open up a just basically just find like Google Chrome. So when you get to here now, this is the part. You need to go ahead and go to this site. But there's another thing too. This is where your Purebred agent also has to make sure that he adds your email to this this enrollment device, this device. So he has to add your email to the device first. Okay? And then once that is done, I'm going to show you what's next. Once that is done, I'm logging in over here into a browser. You're gonna have to open up a new browser. With most of these like AVDs on the browser, whenever time you use Microsoft Edge, you have to like CAC enabled and log back in. So wait on your, you want to wait on him to enroll your email to this device. And once he gives you the go ahead, you're going to copy this, right? You need to copy this value once he gives you the go ahead. And I'm just communicating. Okay, so now you heard he said I'm good. So now I'm gonna go ahead and go into this right here, log in. So this, whatever this is showing you, basically is telling you copy this email, open up a browser, use your CAD card to go in, and at this stage, you're going to see all of the devices. You should see this device as well, but you're looking for this one. If you have a whole bunch on your profile, like you have a phone, an iPad, or whatever, you're going to be looking for this device, okay? So right here, you're going to go to My Devices. You can do it here, you can do it at the top. Click on My Devices. And Purebred sometimes is a little bit slow, so just have a little bit of patience. It takes about, the web page is very, very slow. So maybe like at least a good 45 seconds before the page loads. It's terrible. All right, so I'm looking for 23927109, which is right here at the bottom. 23, so right there. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of different devices on my profile. Your profile will look a bit different. Just find the one, and once you're there, you're going to click Generate OTP. So you're going to click Generate, click OK. And then if you see up here, it's loading, you're going to get another OTP password that you need to add into this value over here. So just wait for it to generate that one-time password. That's what OTP stands for. Just so you know, even if you see these passwords that I'm using, after few seconds, once you use them, the passwords, they are not valid anymore. So it doesn't really matter. So as you can see up here, the one-time password, it generates, and this is how long it lasts. So you need to put it in right away. Okay. Okay, so that didn't work. Okay, so 4899. So make sure that is right there. It looks the same. And then you want to click complete enrollment. Now you need to put your key in. That was the pin that you set in the beginning. So after this step is done and you complete the enrollment process, it's going to tell you that it's good to go. What you want to do, you want to test this. So you need to take out your CAC card, right? And then you're going to attempt to log in with your key using a DoD site. If you have issues, you need to troubleshoot. Go back to each step and then come here where it says recover all encryption keys. The same thing you did with the one-time password. All you have to do, so right here it says success is provisioned properly. That's what you want to see, and then you're going to click OK. Now, in here, once you go to enrollment, generate another key on here. Generate a new one. Right there, put it in here. 21998-782. And then click recover all encryption keys. So that's what I'm going to do right here. I don't know why it's set up like this. It's a little bit finicky. This happened to me every time I've set it up. So you have a few ways. See, it says recover successfully. So you have a few ways after you go through and you do the enrollment, right? It doesn't show up at all. So it's still showing up for my CAC, right? And I don't want to be using my CAC, right? I should be using the YubiKey. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the CAC card. Okay, I'm going to pull it out. So CAC card is now removed. And I'm going to refresh this page. And I'm going to go back again and try to see if it will populate the actual key. So as you notice, I took the CAC card out, so now it's thinking. Okay, so populated this. Says authentication is good. So now it seems as if the key is working on this end. So I gotta try again. Now I'm gonna try that one. Now there it is. And it probably popped up earlier when I was trying to troubleshoot by itself. It was already there. And then authentication is complete. That means now, as you can see, my CAC card is in my hand right here. And I'm logging in with the YubiKey by itself. And I'm doing whatever. So even if you leave this at home, you have the ability to log in and do whatever you need to do. Okay. And there you go, guys. So that's basically it. If you have issues, like I said, if the first time it doesn't work, just go back in and recover the keys, generate the one-time passwords, get with your Purebred agents. You have to work hand in hand with them so that you can make this work. And once you have it work, it's just like that. Everything is good to go. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, and just give me some feedback on what you think about this video. Until next time, and I will see you guys later.